My name is Denny Elliott, and I'm department chair of the Department of Journalism and Digital Communication. I also hold an endowed chair, the Eleanor Pointer Jameson Chair in Media Ethics and Press Policy. I'm visually impaired. I have optic neuropathy. It's kind of complicated. I have severely cut down visual fields, and so the dog finds curbs for me and keeps me from running into things that are covered by black or gray splotches from my point of view. Actually the campus is really quite accessible. I'm thinking when I go over to the chancellor's office or over to the dean's office or over to the library, I tell Koala, my guide dog, we're going to the library, and then I don't really think of it again. She gets me there. And so there's not much in the way of hazards between here and there. I think that USF could improve its web accessibility for people with disabilities. I read blue on yellow better than the black and white, and of course being able to increase the size helps a great deal. And this is provided by the university for me.
My name is Jody Slininger. I'm a senior, actually graduate this semester, and my major is psychology. To be honest with you, not very much. Now, this particular building gets a little confusing because I don't see, and it's got a couple different directions it can go. Like I got lost earlier finding the restroom. But overall, the campus as a whole is really nice. I mean, the fountain is a really good landmark for me. It always makes noise, and so I kind of can tell where I'm at based on that. And the big balls that I either find with my cane or I see them, like right when I get on campus, the white and green balls. The bus most of the time. I am really grateful for their system that I can use my USF ID and get on the bus for free, which is really nice. The system talks, and so I'm able to hear which stop I need to get off at, which is very useful. So whenever it announces my stop, I ring the bell and they let me off.
So my name is Hunter Drake. I'm a second-year grad student graduating in December with a master's degree in experimental psychology. So my primary disability is bipolar disorder, which leads to difficulties in scheduling. It leads to difficulties in affect, and it's made it a little complicated at first during my time here at USFSP. But initially, I just considered it a barrier that I was prepared to deal with. Luckily, with the support of the staff, it's been a good experience. I think the most important piece is for people with bipolar disorder, we're down so frequently that as many tips, tricks, tools, and gadgets as you can provide for scheduling, the better. And a lot of professors don't take advantage of the Canvas calendar in their courses. They have all the assignments listed on the syllabus, but there is a great feature that allows you to schedule yourself, and it integrates with Canvas, it integrates with Google Calendar, and you can see when all your assignments are due. And that way, if you have medical appointments, psych appointments, any kind of appointments, or you're down for a day or two, you can plan accordingly. As a preeminent research university, we do have high expectations of students, and that can be daunting. Luckily, this campus is also very, very much interested in student success, and so they've made every effort to make sure that we succeed in the face of even the most rigorous of schedules.
Hi, my name is David Stoner. I am a graduating senior in the Journalism and Digital Communication Studies program. I have cerebral palsy. I require use of a wheelchair. Basically, I have for all my assignments and stuff, I cannot write for myself. Well, there's a few things. I enter the PRW building from the courtyard by the garage, and there's a big lift that I tend to drive off sometimes because my vision isn't too good, so sometimes I miss that lift and drive straight off the sidewalk. There are the doors get into PRW. When you hit the handicap button to open them, they don't stay open long enough. They need to be timed differently so they stay open, because by the time I go over to the button, hit the button, and the door's open, by the time I get to the door is already closing on me. They give me more time on the assignments. They obviously allow my tests to be proctored. I've gotten books put on digital format through the school and stuff like that.
My mother asked me a long time ago if I blamed her because of the way I am, or quote unquote the way people assume I am. And I told her no, because I said that God has a reason for everything that He does. So He had a reason for me to be disabled. And I told her, I don't know what it is now, but He will, in time, show me what that is. Yes, I do value it, because the way I look at it now is I'm teaching everyone that I meet about my disability, or about different disabilities. Also, my hope is that the students see me in the office and think, if he could do it, I could do it.
My name is Ariana Rabitz. I got my bachelor's in biology in 2015. I got my master's in medical science in 2016, and now I want to get into conservation biology. I was diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome in 2012, I think. It's under the autism spectrum umbrella. It's characterized by average or above average intelligence, but marked difficulties in social interactions. Okay, well, I can only speak for myself. I can't speak for everyone like me because we all have different needs. For me, what they've done for me is I'm given when I take an exam, they give me a quiet place to do it here in this office, because I get distracted by noise. A lot of people with Asperger's have problems with attention. USF St. Pete has the advantage of being a small collaborative campus. Practically everyone knows each other. I'm able to communicate with them and see them as often as I need to.
So I'm Elena Brooks. I'm a freshman and my major is psychology. It's a wide spectrum of conditions that tend to occur due to an insult to the brain around the time of birth, after birth, or up to 2 years old. And so it can affect pretty much any of your limbs. For me personally, it affects my legs more than my hands, although I have a slight coordination deficit in my hands. And affects mobility. It can affect speech in some individuals, though for me it does not. And just it's a way that that I am. I consider that I was created, and it presents definitely challenges. For instance, I fall a lot more than the average person. So I have sensitivity to noise, and especially sudden noise and sudden stimulus in general, but noise more than anything. And the way that it was explained to me by a therapist was that my brain processes external stimuli in a way that is just slightly slower maybe than the average person. So when something comes suddenly into my auditory perception, a lot of times it takes me longer than the average person to recognize where that stimulus is coming from. So I get startled very easily. And then in addition to that, if there are a lot of extraneous noises in an environment, such as if a lot of conversation is going on at once, I tend to get easily overwhelmed by it because I can get very overstimulated by sound. I've had to use adaptive equipment throughout much of my life. I've had surgery for it, all of these things. But at the same time that, I do appear physically different, and somebody with CP might appear to be physically different. It doesn't mean that we don't have ideas that are just as valid as the next person, and we don't have gifts that maybe somebody wouldn't be able to recognize because they'd be so focused on how the external looks different. Does that make sense? Well, in terms of physical accessibility, I feel like at this point in my development of, managing my condition, I feel that I manage it very, very well. I used to have more mobility difficulties, but now, although I do have trouble with balance, I fall more often than the average person. But by grace, I'm able, to get up, and it works. So in terms of like having things that enable me to be mobile, it's definitely available for me personally. Well, for one thing, the surfaces are flat, so it enables me to not fall as much. For another thing, just SDS and having not only services available for people with conditions, but also the staff here, like Mr. McDowell, and individuals who recognize that just because we have a condition don't automatically put us in a box whereby we can't do things that other people can. And having them here to raise awareness about that fact is definitely a huge positive.